nice stocks in the OTC market because, frankly, guys, we all need some winners. Trump's in. Not talking about who you voted for, but we all know what's good for the economy, anyways. And we saw what happened the day after and then up till now. Stocks are booming. I mean,
Yeah.
PLTR. Whoo! I'm glad I bought that thing down there in 30s. Man, there's a lot of positive things happening in the market. Even my old stock GMGI is booming. It went from like 220 to over $3 today, and it's had a little bit
Yeah,
of
was it 3? Yeah.
yeah, and it's going to go back up. I think it's just a little consolidation, but it belongs somewhere around 5 or 6. So we'll see what happens.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so.
Pat, I imagine you're already knee deep in getting the stocks ready to look at, right?
You bet. Yeah, just starting to
Ooh.
pull up a few. And now, do you have a few on your mind? I know you had a few last time.
Well, I just pull up OTC markets and already went through the similar thing we did. I would love for you to pull up GMGI because I think that the move over the last few days, there's been insider buying. It's a low price stock, and I think it's got some tremendous oomph behind it that's happening right now that the people want to know about. Ultimately, they purchased Meridian Bet, big company, expanded them into 12 countries, and Meridian Bet has two partners, one of which is a silent partner. He's like that. I don't want to use that word. He's like, I got the money, but I don't want my face up there. Well, that's the one that's been in the market buying stock. He's been buying 25, 30,000 shares a day, filing Form 4s. He's, I believe, over 100,000 shares in buying so far, and I don't think he's anywhere near done yet. And that's an insider. And the
Yeah,
reason he's
big time.
doing it is because not only the growth of the company, the expansion of the company, and all of their products in the market and the segments they're in, and they've integrated with each other. Like GMGI has some amazing technology that can help client retention and lower cost of acquisition for the gambling people. So Meridian Bet's applying that technology to their already working well business. Both companies are profitable. Now the profitability is going to be able to increase for Meridian Bet. The revenue on both sides is going to be able to increase, and the market share for both definitely did that as well. Now they're going to be looking at probably making some more acquisitions that align with what they're doing to continue to expand. I mean, I think they're going to be a big market mover here in the not so distant future. But right now, they're just a small cap trying to make some noise.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't I do a screen share with you guys to show you some of the stuff that's going on, and then Schito, would love to hear what you're looking at as well.
Yeah. I
We know
mean, we
you're
have
looking at a
this.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah. We have this ALDS. I mean, I think
Love that.
I
I
don't
just
know
put up the screen there. There we
if you
go.
entered it as well. That's one that I find really interesting based on all the
Yeah,
numbers and the share structure and everything. Yeah.
a great setup on the DTC, and they had the news come out today, right at open, that they're entering this binding agreement for a reverse merger, which would roll in an asset base of 150 million, which is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
That's a big leap.
Yeah, that's a big leap. And so I like that it's binding. That's nice. It's not just a non-binding LOI. I love the asset value. The setup's excellent. Um, it was a little move today. It looked like it was a big move just because it was down big yesterday.
which
Um,
is which is interesting because you don't see that too often, right? I mean, like it's basically the reverse of a preload. Somebody dumped like 500,000 shares yesterday, really cheap, one day before they bring up that news. That's really strange.
well, I don't think it's strange. I mean, like, because we're seeing that happen a lot with these
Yeah.
Chinese ones too. Like, because they don't want to get into uh doing any type of unregistered stuff. You know what I mean? And so I feel like on a lot of these, they're like, hey, get on the bid tomorrow at 12. You know what I mean? And like that's how they're doing it now.
Yeah.
Because that, like, it feels like you see these sometimes now, and it strikes me as that's how they're doing it. So, I mean, I'm guessing maybe an insider got a big hit there because there's been like no volume since May.
Yeah, that's the thing. You think it was just a wash because otherwise somebody had to sell it, right? But if
Right.
it's just, I guess you're talking about like some insider washing yesterday.
Because that to me is like because we've seen this strategy being used, uh, on
Yeah,
the Chinese
on some
one.
of the micro floats. Yeah,
Yeah, and I feel like that they're doing it that way because because you think about all these guys that have gotten arrested for being unregistered broker dealers. You know what I mean? And so it seems to me like maybe this is the way they're doing it now. I couldn't say for sure, but on some of them it felt that way, or it's just a very unlucky seller. You know what I mean? That's
yeah,
possible.
exactly. I still prefer this instead of like somebody bought like 500,000 shares yesterday like crazy, and with a huge obvious front load. I would feel worse than seeing this.
Yeah, this isn't
It's,
all bad. It was a week ago and they bided their time and I wouldn't necessarily say they dumped into it either.
it still
But
has a trend line. I mean,
yeah,
like when you add trend lines to it, it's still going up, even though somebody dumped. We don't know what their condition was or situation, but it's obviously moving in the right direction, like it did back in August, September. It started to do it.
yeah, hopefully it continues. I mean, it is an interesting merger and an interesting asset. There it is there. So you can see it's kind of squeaking out of that downtrend. Um, but I just I hope that it catches on and I hope that the company you know, gives it some room to breathe. I mean, that's really the big thing because it's a nice asset and it's something people can anticipate. And I guess we'll see what comes. But the start of next year isn't far away now, so I guess we'll see, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's I guess it's still 2 months away, but I mean, you know how OTC traders are these days. But obviously, it's still only a LOI.
Yeah,
It's a binding one, but still only LOI. But yeah, we will see. But if this dips again, it might be an interesting buy low candidate for the
yeah, for sure,
potential deal in January, I guess.
for sure. I guess we'll see. So there's that one. I thought that was pretty good. GPLS, they put out some news that they were getting close to doing their deal at the end of the year. Initially, they had that kind of like 3-4 week mark on it, and I think that's part of the reason it got sold today is that CEO had posted that they're kind of shooting for the end of the year, which isn't really the end of the world, but a little bit of a sell off today. And I think for people, who'd been in it for a month now, they were like, okay, well, maybe
Well,
I'll
I
come.
wanna I wanna talk about that briefly. So I'm gonna intro right here. Next week's show, it got pushed off because of all the crazy hype for um, the elections and what transpired. Next week's show was with AZRH.
Oh,
AZRH, Josh
Yeah.
Cohen is going to be on our show, and another great share structure, but it's directly connected to GPLS and
Yes.
to ZHUD. These are all
yeah.
stocks people have been talking about. I fully expect that we could see GPLS, ZHUD, and AZRH become one single company and list.
But
That's a
that's great.
mind-blowing, crazy statement.
If you have Cohen on the show, I didn't know that. That's
Yep.
really really
Coming
Josh
good.
up.
Cohen,
Yeah.
right here, folks. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be hot. I mean, this guy is hot to trot. He's got a huge following on Instagram. He's got a lot of buzz going everywhere but Twitter or X, which is where we're at. And you guys have a chance to find out about this before it's cannibalized. I mean, honestly, you guys tell them more about the stock structure and how these deals have been going. But I've heard you
Yeah.
guys both are following and have followed and been part of ZHUD. And the same with GPLS and AZRH. And now we'll
Yeah.
get the skinny on what's going on directly from the horse's mouth, and hopefully look to get a long-term deal with him moving forward into the future, so we can get more exposure on Twitter for the great things he's doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting situation. I'm very keen to hear, because like as far as I'm concerned right now, I mean there's definitely if you think about that AZRH move and even Zhad to a degree, I mean this is the hottest stuff out right now. And
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
like it because these guys have been putting in effort lately,
they have.
and
Yeah.
we don't see that too much anymore in the OTC, and they have reasonable tickers. Like, and some of them are outright really good from share structure point. So it's not like some, they putting in effort in order to dilute it to death, because these guys putting in effort into really good share structure deals, and yeah, it's really interesting.
Very nice to see. I'm going to be looking forward to hearing from them. So that's GPLS. Anyways, it's been a long wait, and I guess we'll see what he comes up with. But it's still a stunning setup, and would love to see it level up at some point. I got a few more off the list here. I don't know what's going on with this really. Have you followed this at all? I don't usually enjoy those QXs much.
Yeah, I don't know the ticker. I don't do much QX.
Yeah.
I don't even follow much QX stuff. No,
This
I
is
don't. I
tough.
don't
This
know.
is tough stuff, man. Oy, oy, oy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that green, it's some of the largest volume they've seen in forever.
Yeah. I
What's
see.
the news? What's the filing?
They're a delister.
oh, they
So
are
they
Well, so
really
they delisted a QX.
came off
That's
the big board, yeah.
okay.
well,
Then
it's not as
then it's
bad as
even
getting dumped on pink sheets.
okay.
You got a seller here. So yeah, when you look at those SC13Gs and you see these are all zeros, if it's amended, then you can assume it's a seller. Someone sold all their shares. And it looks like this Carlin Energy sold out. So not much in terms of updates from them. Delisted in August, and that's it. So I just a ton of resistance there. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough business. Not a bad setup, but tough. Tough to just take the leap on something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it
second,
has had a good bounce now from the endless sell-off, I guess, from the
yeah,
delisting.
more like a tech bounce. Boy, I haven't seen this name in a long time, eh?
Arrow Energy.
Jeez Louise, there used to be a barrel cult that was unlike any other.
Yeah, this one has been brutal over the last 2 years.
Man, and we have not hearing anything from them, eh?
And the sister company, the same on the stock price performance. What was it
CDSG.
called? Yeah,
Yeah. Let's take a look.
CDSG. I think they filed like 3 times the 1012G and had to withdraw it 3 times.
Yeah, I mean the SEC was probably like, sure. Yeah,
That's wild. 3
So-
times. 3 times.
barrel, small movement, not a lot going on. A-Bit's been a hell of a move. And I gotta say, as far as OTCs go, like, I'm gonna tell you what, like most of the Bitcoin stocks on the OTC may as well be inverse Bitcoin. They're so bad. Like they're actually moving the opposite direction of Bitcoin down. Most of them, like it's just shocking how bad some of these are. And like if you put them head to head with Bitcoin, you should have bought Bitcoin, just whole ass Bitcoins, because like this is nonsense how these are performing. But finally, one of them moved in a bet,
Yeah.
and it was a tough one for me to watch because like the entire time Bitcoin's been moving, I've been buying a bit and then getting dumped on and stopped out. Like for what, a year and a half, this has been happening to me. And finally, it starts getting some volume the other day, and I was like, "Oh, it could be okay," but boy, I'm tired of getting dumped on. And then finally, they did it.
Yeah, they did it finally. Yeah.
There's another one. These guys are a Bitcoin miner.
Yeah. I bought some of this today, a few, just because of the A-bit move. So I thought like maybe they're gonna do it to this one as well, because it's a really good share structure.
Oh, it's a good one, you
Yeah.
know, and it's a cease trade for me.
Oh,
I know.
this one as well.
Yeah. Help.
It's so bad.
But you know, you get to thinking about like if they're going to buy some Bitcoin miners, I mean, they could rip this, but it's up to these guys to speak up, and we haven't heard from them for quite some. Well, you know, we heard from them in September, but boy, you get in position there with all these Bitcoin miners on the move, and look out, man. That's a really good one. What's the other one? It's B. Yeah. Has this moved at all?
BMNR,
E
I don't
what?
follow it.
Down it moved. BMNR.
Yeah, another QX.
Man, oh man. The interesting story has been Solana. And you know, Solana's been absolutely ripping and really becoming the next cryptocurrency, and that's why this Sol Strategies is such an interesting stock, because like they're becoming like the micro strategy of Solana.
Yeah, they had a huge move lately.
And more. It's back at it. Like it's not a ton, it's 10%, whatever, but they're back at it. And they keep buying more and more Solana. And I gotta advise, I don't know if anyone that owns a shell ever watches this, or like, because they did not capitalize on AI on the OTC. Like they could have done so much with AI and AI reverse mergers. They didn't do enough. You know what I mean? Like thankfully we saw a good one today. But boy, for some of these empty shells to start going the direction of buying Solana and becoming like a Solana bank or Solana, you know what I mean? Like they could kill it, man. And like
Yeah,
these
because
guys,
they
yeah,
would, they could, because it has a widespread appeal now with all the Solana meme coins and stuff. And yeah,
huge appeal. I mean, like if I had an empty shell, I'd say, listen, my business is buying Solana, and I'm buying all the Solana I can,
Yeah.
and I'm going to become the micro strategy of Solana. These guys prove the point, but they're Canadian and people don't love the foreign stocks as much. I mean, if someone had a decent shell where they said, I'm going to start buying Solana on my shell and I'm going to be the micro strategy of Solana, they got it made in the shade. Made in the shade. So anyways, there's
yeah.
that.
How's the volume looking on Solana Network right now?
It's
I'm talking about, like yeah.
The meme coins.
Yeah.
oh, on the meme on the decks, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just look at this.
Like how much money's flowing through it?
Oh boy, I'll tell you, it's a lot now.
Let's do a side by side to OTC market so we can all cry in our Wheaties.
3.7 billion, all into memes and stuff.
Yeah. So what was OTC Markets volume today?
OTC Markets was 2.5 billion, but it was all into this type of stuff, foreign ADRs. So there's your
Not
dollar
quite the
volume.
same thing.
No, Fannie, and then a bunch of Fannie and Freddie stuff because those are kind of Trump stocks. So, I mean, it goes to show that, like, if someone wanted that crossover appeal on their OTC shell, you could start saying I'm buying Solana and our company's doing Solana, and you'd probably kill it. You'd probably kill it.
So if you guys follow DJT at all,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
pull that one
Yeah.
up. That's out of maybe not off topic, but that move, man, I had so many people talking to me right near the top of that green candle
Yeah.
saying, man, I gotta sell out all of the shares I have in this and buy DJT. And now it's starting to correct a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean, that was the trade. The lead up was the trade, and having the guts to believe that he'd win was the trade, and now they're all cashing in. So it'll probably need to chill out for a little bit, but what a win. I mean, and I got to say, like, the amount of, like, I don't even want to get into the politics of it because people get too triggered, but the
yeah.
amount of bullshit that came from these news outlets that were saying that he was probably going to lose, and look at the map and the polls. Like, at some point, do these companies ever look in the mirror and say, you know what, there's a reason that there's a trust issue here with us? You know what I mean? Because, like, if you were to watch the news, like, I knew older people that watched only, mainstream news and cable TV, and as far as they were concerned, there was no chance he was going to win.
Yep.
And to
All the
win the
polls,
popular vote,
all the numbers said that Kamala was winning and Trump would. Yeah.
yeah, not only the popular vote, but all of the swing states,
Yep.
all
And
of
that's
them.
not what happened.
Yeah, and so it's just shocking. But
So
anyways, I mean,
I'd like to follow DJT as a group and see like if we can call where we think the bottom is and see if it runs again. Cause I think there's a good chance.
the question becomes one of, um, now that he's president, how much time and energy is going to get put into growing this? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and
Well, he's got
correct me if
staff, so it doesn't have to be him.
correct me if I'm wrong, but the numbers are awful, right? In this
Yes,
one.
they are
Be-
bad.
Yeah,
And
so
he pretty
far at
much,
least.
when he went back to Twitter, and thank goodness he did, because I think it helped his campaign a lot and dealing with Elon and everything like that. But when he went back to Twitter, I mean, that pretty much said everything you need to know about Truth Social. That
Yeah, I mean,
it's
nine
not
9 months they reported like 140 million loss from operations. So
Yeah.
What was that
I'm
from? Like all the money they put into marketing it?
Well, we can see here. Let's take a look.
yeah I don't know why it's so bad, but it's the numbers are really bad, and he might, I don't know if he starts to dilute it now and get something out of it. I have a couple of puts right now for DJT.
Yeah.
I don't know how low it will go, but I think it might go a lot lower than it is
Are you in the
now.
green on it right now?
Well, it looks like
Yeah, yeah.
it looks like it's all SG&A.
I'm in the
So
green.
salaries and that looks like where all the loss is. So
Wow.
I mean, they're taking care of their people by the looks of it. And look at this. Look at the change in outstanding shares, more than a double year over year.
Yeah, so fundamentally, this isn't
This is not a good investment opportunity.
doesn't have
No.
a good stand, but obviously they can still get it up to 50 again. I mean, if his followers keep buying or whatever, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, I just bought a tiny bit of puts, like when it was, I don't know where it was, like 35 or 38 or something, just to see what it.
Well, you're crushing it right now.
Yeah, but it's tiny. It's not.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
so hard with options. So
it's
anyways, that's the word though. I mean, if anyone has a shell here and wants to make a business, just say, listen, you don't need to have some bum come in and buy it and dump all over it. Just become a Solana buying company, like, because they laughed at MicroStrategy back in the day when they were buying all that Bitcoin. They said it's not even a real business, and they just became the Bitcoin bank. And take a look. I mean, it's just, someone could do that with an OTC if they
yeah.
wanted.
As long as Solana keeps going up, for sure. I mean,
Yeah, and I have a feeling that it's never going away now, because if you compare it with Ethereum, because like people don't want to use Ethereum because it costs so much to do a transaction. It's just not that good. Right?
Yes. It's horrible. And I thought Polygon was better. Yes, better, but still egregious.
I mean, look at this. Look at this breaking out of this channel, and this thing just breaking down. I mean, oh, this is Bitcoin. Sorry, but Solana looks the same. It's just it's not
yeah,
performing, and
I wouldn't
I think
be
that's why they like
hugely
Solana.
surprised to see the 300. I wouldn't. I mean,
No, I wouldn't be
We're at
surprised to see
300.
300. No.
See what at
So
300?
Solana.
Solana,
Yeah.
it's possible for sure.
For sure. So there's that. CRCW is another Bitcoin miner, but mostly they're just mining for shares to sell. They had another AS raise, another offering, and and now this is supposed to look like a move to me, and I got to be honest, it's not. It's
Looks pretty
Well,
flat.
this one is so tough.
it's really just they've just trashed it, and so I'm gonna pass. UNQ, what a weird situation here, man.
I don't know what they do. I mean, that's it. This is all behind the curtain.
Yes.
Because like the last 18 months, nobody even looked at that. Nobody was interested. They always, even when they put up like $1 billion in revenues, you remember? Nobody cared.
Every time I bought it, they would dump on it, and now they're SEC delinquent and moving, and I don't get it. Like, I agree with you. It's all behind the curtain. This is all insider stuff.
They also had the supposed SPAC deal, which fell through as well.
Yeah.
Like so often, I still don't understand why so many planned SPAC deals with OTC companies fall through. I mean, almost like 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 get canceled.
I'm trying to think about one that even made it. I don't think.
Yeah, there is 1 or 2. I remember,
maybe
but
a couple. Jeez Louise.
Most got canceled.
Yeah. So I don't know how to buy this because it's SEC delinquent. My assumption is that they're just drumming up business to get shares out the door with volume and price action before it goes gray, because they don't intend to file. But
you think so? They don't intend? They have, let me check. They have until end of November.
no,
So
clock's ticking.
definitely. Yeah.
Clock's ticking on that. So I guess we'll see. Outside of that, the volume has been low. There was this reverse merger or change of control. We don't know what the merger is yet with Third Bench, which is formerly known as NECA, which might make a few people's hair stand up on the back of their neck.
NECA?
Yeah, that's the one.
I haven't heard that name in a while, but it's very familiar.
Yeah.
I believe I know the owners of NECA.
Yeah, so they changed after I don't even know how many splits, so many. But this thing went to 0. They did a split and it's gone to 0. But I wouldn't say on a ton of shares. like it's not a bad looking trip, I guess. And then, so they added a new CEO today. And the guy's name is John Bianco, who I believe is the Rennie guy.
Ari and
Yeah,
I?
there's at least the Rainy, the JRC, you know Rainy. I mean, they
Yeah.
were with you.
Yeah.
They at least their CEO has that name. I don't know if it's the same guy
Is
or is
it
it not?
definitely the same guy? It's tough to say, but I mean that there it is. So yeah, my gut.
Because on the profile on Rennie, he calls himself Jonathan Charles Bianco, and
Right.
he doesn't call him like this in the 8K. So
Yeah, but we had Mark Pendus on when we did the show.
Right.
oh, okay. Mark Pindus. Okay, that's the
Didn't we?
CFO. It's the CFO.
I think I'm right
Well,
about that.
interestingly, they've added a new CEO by the name of John Bianco.
Yeah,
And is it the Rennie guy? You know, we can't be sure. I'm sure someone will reach out and ask. But it seems like it's the Rennie guy. And if that's the case, it'll be interesting to hear if he has some plans for it or what he's going to do with it.
mhm.
It's not a bad trip. I mean, if there's a good plan there, it's not a bad trip.
If
Um,
you look
yeah.
at it currently, I mean, it's a really good. It looks awesome. The situation, the share structure, and everything. The issue with this is that it's a company that has a good amount of notes with some bad players in the background, canoes and stuff. So you gotta watch it. But
Jeff Knaus?
right
Yeah,
now, it's looking good. Obviously,
yeah, because that's the trouble. It's such a dirty dog of a shell,
yeah.
you know, and could you even get all the skeletons out of the closet? I don't know.
I still don't get why this John Bianco is not buying another shell. I mean, there is so many good shells out there.
Oh, dude, like I mean, there's
Why
just
why you buy this one?
well, I mean, I get, I'm sure it's exactly the reasons that we just said. Like, I mean, you got guys who, but like, look at this. They're not doing anything with this. Look at this. I mean,
Yeah,
why don't
there's
why
so
don't these
many
guys
like
say
this.
they're buying Solana? Just wake up one day and say, "Hey, we're buying Solana." It'd be
Yeah,
game over. It'd be a
I
dime.
mean, Pat, we can buy a shell. I mean,
Well, show
we
me a shell. You know what I mean? And then, I mean, I'll, because it's crazy. But so I don't know why THBD is the choice. But if he comes in and cleans it up and actually has an impact on whatever skeletons are in that closet, it on paper it's a very good trip right now.
yeah, and
So
with the volume today, even if the note guys watch closely, but this can be at like trip 8 or tap 1 in a
okay,
heartbeat with the volume today.
so it's in the August 20th PR from Rennie. So it is them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Well, I guess stock trips. We'll see if these guys can do
Rennie's at
something with
14.
it.
What's their stock structure look like again?
Who third bench?
Ari and I.
Ari
Oh,
and
they're
I's a
already
good
on their
setup.
page.
It's a great setup,
It's a
and
good
Yeah.
one. Always been a good
you
one.
know,
So
I
I
mean,
bet
it's
you.
been
I
at this
wonder if
price
there's going to be some
forever. It
play.
feels like, but
I wonder if there's going to be some play between the two.
well, that's the question. We'll check on the PR here, but
Does Rennie have something they can spin out? I think I remember him talking about that.
there it is.
That August 20 PR that stock trips mentioned, I cannot find that one on
There it is.
OTC Markets.
I
Can
got
you?
it. It's a third bench PR, not a Rennie PR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here it is. I got it up on the screen. So
That
it is.
makes
It's the
sense.
Rennie guys.
Okay.
So We'll see. I can't
Okay,
believe it's
so if we
taken
went
this
back
long
to
to kind of.
our interview with him on RE&I, he talked about
Mm.
making some acquisitions with RE&I and his growth strategy, and I believe part of that conversation involved spinning out some things out of RE&I.
Well, I'll tell you what. So they did have a small move after that PR came out, but then obviously you would have regretted buying it.
I didn't even know about that PR because this is not one I follow. THB.
No, well, and this is also a cease trade for me. I can't buy this either.
Yeah, that's ugly. I mean,
I know. So I never look at the news on it, but listen, I mean, if these guys can clean it up, could be okay. I don't know. I mean, it is a nasty shell, I'll tell you that. But if they can clean it up, then I guess that's pretty cool.
Oh, if history says anything, they did a great job working with RE&I.
yeah,
They
I
did.
think he's a great guy. I mean, he did okay with RE&I, and no dumping and no.
No, he's just a victim of the market circumstance right now, I think, because it's not been a bad setup, and he's not been rude with it at all.
Yeah.
It's just getting volume and a higher price security right now that isn't foreign driven volume is very tough.
Yeah, very tough.
Very tough. So that's kind of what I've been seeing. Anything else kind of on your mind? I know that CLNV's kind of been on the move a little bit.
Yeah, they finally got that 15 million financing. I mean, they just had a Spaces parallel to us now, but it's finished now. So yeah, they finally got that financing, and hopefully the extreme dilution is, I mean, extreme, but it's not big numbers, but you know how it is. It was enough to bring it down substantially. Is finished hopefully with this financing. We will see. That's the question going forward, right?
Yeah.
What was that ticker? THB what?
THBD.
Okay.
I didn't even see that candle. What kind of candle is this?
That's
it's a foretelling candle.
I didn't see that.
It's huge.
Yeah. It's huge.
So we'll see. I mean, I hope it works out. I feel like we've been here a lot of times with CLNV now.
We have, and I think the argument is from them that we have been here a couple of times because they couldn't get that financing done yet, so they had to bridge finance it with the note guys,
Because like I'm seeing the price action to volume ratio with every single one of these things get worse and worse and worse. Like the amount of volume it's taking to move it. So here's hoping that it's true.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I get what was this? I get Fless vibes sometimes.
Yeah.
And Fless is not looking pretty.
Yeah, but this one was really special, Fless. I mean, wow. I mean, that said, if you played it from the lows, I mean, it was a really good move.
It was a nice ripper, yeah.
But I know what you mean. Obviously, I mean, it was supposed to be so much more, and
I think he is another case of people that came alongside of him and bent his ear and got him all dragged into their agenda, and they weren't the best option for the company.
Yeah, he got played. You could tell he didn't know even what was happening.
I do think so.
Yeah.
Even it might be naive to think so, but I really think that this guy got played. I mean, I talked to him a couple of times about that note stuff, and he just didn't have much experience with this stuff, so
No.
and it got
And
out of control.
it's
Yeah.
make or break it for these OTC companies if they listen to the wrong person. I mean, and there's so many people coming at you from every corner trying to give you advice and tell
Yeah,
you they know all these great things and they have all these great connections, but the hidden agenda will kill you
that's the thing.
because they
And
have one
yeah,
of the biggest plays in this stupid little arena, I would say, is they get fees for connecting them with other people. So they'll connect them to their funding guy. Their funding guy is kicking them down money for putting them in. So they don't really care what happens to them. They just want to fill a pipeline, get the finder's fee, and keep on going after other companies to do it. Once they get hooked in with the funding guy has them by the balls,
There's
and then
Eric
he'll
there.
do a big trotch and he'll say, "Oh, you need more money. Well, the terms are going to be a little bit different. We're going to do a little bit less this time." And they keep on going and going because they think once they have a funder on the hook, then they're set. But they don't realize they're just falling into a pit.
Yeah, and this guy, they were probably like, listen, just operate this company, do your thing, jump out there. We got all this taken care of behind the scenes. Do what you do. Operate this company, and he got just a total patsy.
yeah. And
You know,
these
there's
guys,
their
they
classic
listen.
OTC shit show, he says. Yeah, it is.
They take and they have to listen. I mean, they have to take everything they can get because they are desperate,
Yeah.
with no other financing options, and I can see that some of them get played. Not everybody is a fraud.
Was it
Some
a
of them,
good
I think, are honest and just getting played.
was it a
Yeah.
good job, like a good salary? Because like play me, you know what I mean? Go ahead. I'll
No, I mean, he
yeah.
was even holding back getting paid himself for this deal. I remember him talking about it.
Yeah, that's not a
And
play I'm making then.
Automotive Parts for Less had a great model, has a great model. And again, like we've talked about so many times, the company doesn't operate as it operates separately from the stock.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to run a public company and the business. And it's really tough, man. And you got to be able to trust people. So, I mean, we've had him on the show. We've definitely shout out to Long Bully Stick for coming up alongside this guy and trying to help him out for a long time. Long Bully Stick, if you're on, thank you so much for being part of our show and supporting us. It's great to have people like you in the audience.
Yeah, and have you, JRC, have you heard anything from Chris? Because he was gone,
Just gone,
because
yeah.
he did that weekly show on Twitter for
Yeah.
for some time. Then I think that the deal with Brett Rosen fell through, and from that point on, he was like, he disappeared.
Well, I talked to Chris Davenport a few times, and ultimately,
Okay,
there?
no, he froze up now, I think.
He froze up.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a really tough situation, and I sometimes get that vibe with CLNV, but
It has been like this so far. There is no doubt.
yeah, it's just tough to trust it. Like I want to, God.
Yeah,
But
because it has potential if they really can do that factory, with the plastic stuff, and
yeah,
it's an issue out there. I mean that there should be demand, this potentially this could be a big OTC company, over time,
it could.
if they can deliver this stuff, because
There's the rub.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a smart move. He turned back on a money-making option for the company to help try to get through this, and that was the lift kits for less.
Yes.
I remember he did that. He turned that back on, started bringing revenue to the bottom line, and that was good because it was just a faucet. But he couldn't get a marketing budget to get auto parts for less off the ground, and that was supposed to be the cash cow.
Yeah, it's just too bad. So, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, that's not the case with CLNV. To date, it's been the case, but maybe it's finally time. So we'll see. But outside of that, not a ton of movement.
Did you pull up IGPK?
Yeah, I was just seeing how it was going since you mentioned Long Bully Stick, seeing how things are going there. Did they
Oh
what
yeah,
did
I
they
think
file
it
for now? An AS raise and a split?
Yeah, they filed both with SOS. I mean, the AS is apparently is already implemented. You can see it if you look up SOS. The split is the question, right? When will FINRA process it? Will FINRA process it at
Well, it's
all?
taking a year, 6 months to a year for a turnaround on that right now.
Yeah, FINRA, it takes
Not quick.
forever with these guys.
And FINRA's pushing back. If there's a history of splits, they don't want to authorize it and they give you flack. I mean, if you
Yeah,
haven't reverse split it a ton and it hadn't happened much, they're more likely to do it, but it's still a 6-month turnaround for your authorization, and then you have to implement it.
Well, maybe I don't know if they were dating someone that worked at RNVA or if RNVA was sending edible arrangements over to FINRA, but boy, oh boy, they missed the mark on this one. I'll tell you what. I mean, they
Really?
split this thing every year. RNVA.
yeah, must not
That
be an
that
issue in the background.
it's
So
not the
they
same
split
now
it.
though.
It's just that's another thing, they want to protect us, better than putting CEs on stocks would be if they protect us from companies that do more than one reverse split, let's say in 5 years. How about that rule?
How about this for protection? I don't feel protected when I see things like this happen. You know what I mean?
What stock is
Like, I
that?
don't feel protected.
But at least first this one went from 1 to like 18.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but yeah, but late, if you were late, you weren't protected so much.
No, you weren't. And so, I mean,
Is that an
it's a little
OTC
bit funny
company?
Mm-hmm.
that it's just a little bit
Chinese.
funny to me that this is their idea of protection, is to make everyone leave, and then their idea of protection is to, like, people are out here, and I said it, remember I said what 3 years ago when they were changing the rules, I said at one point they're going to start buying just balls coin or ass coin or something like that, and you know what,
Yeah,
that
they
they
do.
are,
Yeah,
you know, they are. They're buying balls,
yeah. Um,
and so it's just funny to me that they had a great little sandbox happening there in the OTC, and with some light regulation, a little bit of enforcement, they could have made it better, and instead they did what they did, and now people are buying balls.
yeah, and since these guys buy balls, you know that you don't need to come up with some arguments why some OTC stock is good or not good, because I mean they clearly they aren't going too deep.
Yeah. So frustrating to see, and volume wise, very low. But there's a couple of opportunities coming around, and so we'll keep picking away. But that's really what I got in terms of what's happening out here.
Yeah, last 10 days it has been more quiet again. We
Yeah.
had as
Well,
we
there's all the surge in the big board with the election
yeah.
win. So, I mean, I knew it was going to take something away. But the whole point is we get the boys back up with their money and the big boards. They're going to start coming to play in the more speculative market. And we all know that's what happens. We're coming up towards Christmas. Usually you'll get a surge in OTC buying around the holidays, people gambling. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, January often okay as well, and now we got another rate cut a little bit. So I mean, it's lining up, I guess. My main question is, and Pat probably has an opinion on this, is everything around the macro picture is lining up more and more now. Trump won, which is also good, I guess, for us. But is there too much capital that goes a different way now?
Yeah.
Capital that we have, like risk capital.
That's the problem, is are people just going 100% crypto direction, you
It's a
know
real problem. I think one of the biggest issues for OTC is meme coins. I mean,
yeah,
it is.
it
You
is.
can
I mean, this is the problem, is that people like you look at like a young person could buy something like this,
Yeah.
uh and in a month, uh change their life on a joke they like, and or what, go here and get sent to the grays with, $20 a day in volume, and so I mean, the one positive is that, Trump's said he's going to fire Gary Gensler when
Yeah,
he leaves.
that's I mean that's the best thing ever, you know.
Yeah. And so maybe the end of that regime in the Securities and Exchange Commission might bring on some understanding of, what, we do have a market here. We could lean into that speculation a little bit. We could keep a nice sandbox here, a nice regulated sandbox here for that exact same type of trader. Because and this volume is no joke. So this on the day 5 million, but here's a new one that just happened today. $43 million on the day, world's first cyber rodent.
Yeah.
Cyber what?
Cyber rodent. They hooked a rat up to AI and got it answering questions. It was feeding the answers to questions through its brain.
it's
And
Uh,
it's insane.
but this coin actually is not even related to that rat. It's just in honor of that rat. And it did
wrong.
and it did $43 million today. So forgive me for
I'm in
saying
the wrong business.
that, right. So forgive me for saying that maybe they could loosen up a touch here.
Yeah.
And FINRA and all them could loosen up a touch, because any kid can load up a wallet and buy this regardless of their age, regardless of anything, with no regulation internationally. 43 million bucks in how, and here's the kicker, an hour and 59 minutes.
Is all it traded?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm convinced for a while that this is the single biggest issue for OTC.
Right. And we saw
The
it
rule
early
change,
on.
everything has a little bit, but this is by far the biggest issue.
And we saw it early on when they started with crypto a little bit, 2017, 2018. They were, trading those BNB things, and it was getting slow, and then they came back because it was a crappy chain. You know what I mean? And now that they've got this Solana chain, and it's so seamless and cheap now, like for me to slap $1,000 worth of this, the fees might be $2.
Mhm.
And so, it's, and I'm not saying, oh, the OTC is done, but my opinion would be that, in looking at this, to wake up as a regulator and look at this, and then look at this, and ask yourself the question, where have you gone wrong here? And do you think this is they blew it?
Yeah, the thing is, are they even interested to not blow it, Because
I don't think so.
everything they did lately was basically hurting the retail guy as much as humanly possible. They cannot do anything about the meme coins for now, at least, but they can do something here. That's the thing. Is the will there? Even if Gensler is gone, is the will there to make this a better place? I don't know.
I don't know, but in the last 8 minutes, if you bought it, you're up 28%.
Yeah, no, I can see. Despite that, I personally don't want to do it. I mean, but I can see a lot of arguments why others want to do it, why young people want to do it. I'm too old now, I guess. Other than playing a few coins here and there that have a purpose, but I can see why young people might prefer this. It's liquid. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of coins, Do you know that with President Donald Trump coming in, it's the beginning of the conservative wave
Yeah.
across North America, and there is only one Pierre Polyev coin
Which
on
is amazing that there is
all
still only
chain.
one. How is it possible there is still only one?
It's crazy. If you look at the polling data for like, this isn't even close.
I thought Trudeau fled the country.
No, he's here, but I mean, like, if you thought Trump won a landslide, look at this. There's Trudeau there, and there's Pierre there.
When's voting going to be done?
Well, the thing is that in Canada, it can happen at any time. It's like England. So
what
like,
triggers it?
well, it'll be some type of beef or whatever in the House of Representatives or the House of Commons, we call it.
They haven't started that already?
Well, it could happen at any time. It could happen tomorrow. You just don't know. And so, like, and trying to get Americans to understand, like, at any moment, there could be an election and this guy's going to replace Justin Trudeau, who's a serious conservative, going to be on stage with Trump and Elon and everything. And, one of these days, man, like, the team working on this is experienced, and
Coin
I'll tell you
surge.
what, it's the real deal. So I don't know what people are waiting for, but look out, man.
Yeah, and you
You're going
can
to see a
how,
major coin surge.
yeah,
Big
this how well this held up. It's not something that you see often. So I have
No,
a lot
because,
of hope
like,
on this one.
someone would look at it at trip one and think that it's low or that people aren't holding it strongly. But, like, just as an example, I mean, so here is something yesterday that yesterday this pulled $500,000. It's at quad 4. You know what I mean? And so, like, or is that quints or quads? Quads. And so, like, I don't think people fully understand the strength of the hands in this, but one of
Yeah,
these days, and it
really
could be any day, it could be tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you know,
that's one definitely I want to play, but I mean for the midterm.
yeah, no, it's and I'm in it really strongly as well, because at some point, Elon's going to be tweeting about it.
Imagine, yeah.
Yeah, especially with him being a conservative. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, the OTC, I hope with the end of Gensler, maybe someone will come in and say, you know what, we got to do something different here.
I'd like to see some unity on all of North America as a whole. I mean, like Mexico, America, and Canada. If we all came together and went back to more not trying to say right wing, but conservative, not liberalist, not completely liberalist methodologies, I think that we could strengthen North America as a whole. I mean, in a big way. I mean, the border thing, the Chinese sucking money out of each of our countries through Temu, and I can't name all the little apps they've created and stores they've laundered to suck money right out of our economy and use their own manufacturing. But they market the heck out of it in all of our nations.
Yeah.
And people don't know. They just go buy it because it's cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper. It's also not made in our country or your country. And 100% of that money leaves and does not come back.
Well, and that's the point of tariffs. People say, well, it'll cost people money. That's the point. It's like, if this Chinese product is costing the same as an American product because of the tariffs, then you're going to buy American. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, 'cause it won't matter.
That's the point. And so, and it allows American companies to thrive. Let's take a look. Just to give you an example, just to tell you what we're dealing with here. Here we go. You ready?
What is that?
That's the same one we looked at, now up 72%.
The same what?
The rodent. So it was 28% earlier, and now it's 72%. You know, Gary Gensler, he's got to go, and then we got to talk about what we're going to do with this OTC because they are way too tight and uptight to
Yeah,
compete with this.
and in half a year they want to change that tier, you know, the current tier to the OTC ID
Yeah.
or how they call it. They want to make it, I think, a little bit more difficult for companies to get to current. They require something else that they don't require right now.
Yeah.
So
this still blows me away. Like, not even on Ethereum, not on any other chain.
Why? I mean, every cat has like 18 different coins with the same name.
Even Tim Walls.
Yeah.
Like, even Tim Walls has 10,000 coins.
So strange.
Think about that.
But it's a good thing.
It's a great thing. I mean, because you know where they're going to go when it's time. But it's just slow going right now. But one of these days, I tell you what. So,
yeah,
you guys
that's what I
realize
got,
that
guys.
Trump has already agreed to meet with President Putin about calling off the war in Ukraine?
That would be great, and I don't know what it will take because I'm assuming that he's going to want something, but who knows? It would sure be nice
Who wants the
if we
pipelines
wrap
back
that
up? Honestly, you already know.
Yeah, I mean they gotta do something about that because there's a lot of death and a lot of killing, and
yeah,
you know, Iraq was a
Has to
mistake
stop.
once, and that was the right wing's mistake, and now I would say that Ukraine may fall into that column for the left. So there you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I
All right,
got, guys.
What a
Yeah.
great show it's been.
Let's hope we get a little bit more busy again, because we had a couple of weeks, even maybe 2 months, where some good stuff happened. If you are into low floats and stuff, we
Yes.
had like a ton of runners, to be honest. Obviously, you have to be in all of them. I know it's not easy to do for many people, but
That's the
at
challenge.
least we had a lot of organic runners, you know, and it fell asleep a little bit the last 2 weeks, last 10 days. We don't have that energy anymore for now, and I hope it comes back.
Well, you know, if they keep doing stuff like this,
yeah, that's the thing.
never gonna come back.
ASII, RDAR, I mean, they sure, I mean, sucked a lot of money in lately.
Well, it's funny because, like, with RDAR coming back, it would be like Frankenstein shows up at your house. You'd be like, maybe I don't remember this guy, and you let him in. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me. Is this a bad guy?
It's now up to 4 billion DTC. I don't even know how many they diluted in the last few weeks since they announced the deal, because now we cannot even look it up anymore, because now they even OTC Markets even took away the share structure bots from us. So I cannot even freaking looking up how many shares are diluted lately. I mean,
they don't. OTC Markets won't even let you see the updates.
It's unbelievable.
What? Yeah.
I just know it was a ton they diluted, but I don't even know how many.
Yeah, OTC Markets, a guy was running a Telegram bot that would say when all the changes happened to officers and share structure and stuff, and the OTC Markets threatened him out of continuing to run it.
Yeah, because it's data from their homepage, from their page, and
well, and they're trying to sell that. I understand, anyways. It's the rumor, but they're trying to sell that data as a service now.
Yeah, but to whom? It
costs who knows? I mean, who needs?
It costs a fortune, from what I heard.
Yeah, who's gonna buy it?
I don't.
They don't buy the stocks.
Nope.
maybe everybody is buying the data now and nobody has money left for the stock. That's why maybe.
Ay, ay, ay.
They,
Well, there you go, guys.
nobody can say they make it easy for an OTC trader. I mean,
No, I mean, they make
what
it
they
harder.
did to us in the last like 3 years, all in all, it's mind-blowing.
Look at this. I mean, they should be sitting there and looking at this and going, you know what? We got to chill.
Yeah.
This is a rat's face. That's all the information they have is this. A rat's face.
Yeah, but they buy a rat's face. But if there is a really good setup on the OTC with good catalyst, they start to analyze as if it was Apple, you know.
It's an
but
emerging
if you
growth
say-
company. It's not Apple.
If
And I
you,
always-
tweet, if you tweet, hey, I like this, they'd be like, interesting thing about the earnings. And
And
then
I
they'll
always
buy a
tell them-
rat's ass.
That's not the thing that makes this run or not. That's not the important part of the DD. You have to concentrate on. It won't decide if this one is running or not. They come with the DD packages from, I don't know, 2015, and there they buy a rat's face, you know. So
Well, and that's
really
what's so
think-
funny,
I
and
thi- I
that's why
think
I'm
the
not
clincher-
tweeting a lot of the things I'm doing now is because every time I do, Inspector Clouseau shows up with an evidence kit to get, you know what I mean? And then meanwhile, it's a rat's ass.
I think the clincher to the key to it for OTC is the market sentiment. Like what we used to have, which we don't have now, like in the AMC and GME run, is people coming together. Like if people come together and they find a good company, it doesn't matter what the widget is. If they have a revenue model that's generating profits, the company's growing, and it's reasonable, and the share structure is right, and everybody comes together, we can have winners left and right. I mean, it's not about manipulating the market; it's about being unified in some way. And I just don't think people are managing the communications with shareholders and investors in a way they should, transparently and regularly, and they don't have enough going on to be able to captivate or keep their audience tuned in. And then nobody in their audience is coming together to talk about it, like opening up a shareholder chat room on Facebook, or doing a Reddit subreddit on Reddit for the stock, and everybody jumping in the bandwagon. It's like that's what needs to happen. So let's find some good ones. Let's get that AI podcast thing running. We'll do some monthly votes on out of the 15 stocks we talked about this month. If we're going to do one every other day or one a day, out of the 30 we talked about, which ones does everybody in the audience want to focus on, and let's go after them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, let's see. The next 2 months gonna be interesting because this is typically not a bad time for the OTC. At least starting in December, we usually see some tax loss selling in November, but I don't even know if that's an issue this year because I don't know how many people even have a lot of gains.
Probably not much.
But usually December, like mid-December, January is usually good. So hopefully, or more times than not, let's say like this.
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
I'm on the way.
Yeah. Have a good one. And next week, this is a big one. I think this should have a good turnout also because ACRH made a lot of noise with that huge move, and people now know that these guys have stocks like GPLS as well, and CHAT was also a good move. So this might be interesting.
Well, I'll tell you,
Fingers
we're
crossed.
just give you a little heads up. We're going to be also, I believe, live streaming to AZRH's Instagram channel, which has
Sweet.
a large following.
Okay.
Well, that's great.
So we'll be going to the Instagram. We'll be on Twitter or X, and we'll also be on YouTube. So, and we're going to do some marketing we haven't done before. And Pat, I got to talk to you about that and get that all set up as soon as we set up the channel or the
Okay.
event. Guys,
Great.
Good.
we've had a great day.
Yeah.
Anything else
Thank
you
you.
want to say before we sign off?
I'm on to the next thing.
No.
I'm
Next.
on the move, man. We got
All said
kids.
and done.
They want rides.
All right, guys.
See
See
you.
ya.
Have a
Have a
blessed
good
night,
one.
man. Everybody, thanks for joining JRC Stock Talk. We're here really to work with you as investors and traders. We want to know from you directly, what stocks are you looking at? What questions do you have? What can we dive into for you? What can we go after? And companies can we get on the show so you can find out firsthand the information you're looking for? Please go and follow us on YouTube at JRC Stocks. Also, find us on Twitter. We have me at JRC_stocks. We have Schito _74. And we have Patrick or Pat and K at Kiko Stocks. Please get in touch with us, DM us, let us know what we can focus on for you, the investor, because we want to see you succeed. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a great time, and we'll see you next week for an amazing show with AZRH. You don't want to miss it.